Just look at the news. It feels like the world is running out of light, doesn't it? Violence, uncertainty, fear. It's hitting us all, especially you younger guys, those in your prime years. But what if the darkness isn't a sign of failure? What if it's actually an invitation? Hey everyone, and welcome back to Nate's Thought of the Day. And as always, my name is Nate. I say hello to all of you across the globe, to America, Europe, Arabia, and the Far East. As most of you know, I celebrate my 64th birthday, and I'm feeling really good. Me as a normal human being, reaching out to you young guys and girls, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. You're the guys who are carrying the load right now with your careers, your families, raising children, maybe running a business, and just trying to fulfill your purpose. It seems to me that time is moving faster. I'm older, but don't you feel that way as well? Seems like time is just rapidly moving. Just real quick, all of this, you, me, what we do, what we think, everything what we see is thought, and thought is moving fast. So you're going to have to collaborate your mind to be with or ahead of time. Now, I want to thank you all for taking the time, these few minutes, to listen to my message. And I hope you get some inspiration, but just give you some input from me, normal like you. And there's things which you can give me input to pass along. And if you do, drop it in the comments below, and let's get started. These are some heavy times. Just this week, on December 14th, on the very first night of the Jewish holiday, Hanukkah, a terrible tragedy unfolded in Sydney, Australia. Many families, hundreds of families, gathered together peacefully, not only Jews, but non-Jews. They gathered peacefully at the Bondi Beach for the celebration of Hanukkah by the sea. In a moment of pure evil, two gunmen opened fire, killing about 15 innocent people and injuring dozens more. Among the victims were children, a rabbi, and everyday people, simply celebrating their faith. Not saying death to the Christians, death to the Muslims. They were just wanted to enjoy the light. Right now, we are in the season of light, or a celebration of light, in the midst of darkness, or a time of darkness. Let me just break it down real quick. We all know, we've learned in school, that we have 4 seasons, right? And then it's broken down in 2 seasons. We have a time when it's more darkness, and then there's time when there's more light in nature, okay? Until around the 21st, the nights are longer. And then starting at the 21st, which they call the solstice, special word, then more of daylight. The day's light will be longer. Now, Australian authorities have called this a targeted terrorist attack, an act of anti-Semitism. My heart bleeds for the victims and families and everyone touched by this horrible incident. We stand with you. And this isn't isolated. We see violence against Christians in Africa and other parts of the globe, against moderate Muslims, and against anyone with radical ideology. But let's be clear. These extremists are the tiny minority. The overwhelming majority of people, Muslims, Christians, Jews, atheists, everyone, want the exact same things, and that is safety for the children, peace in our neighborhoods, and the freedom to live and worship as we choose, without infringing or harming anyone else. There are two celebrations at this time, one for the Jews and one for the Christians at this time. For the Jewish people, it's called Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights. And this commemorates an incredible story from over 2,000 years ago. This is no myth or fictitious story. It's fact. You can find it in the Greek or Roman or history. This is around a time after Alexander the Great, who was Greek. And there was a group of fighters called Maccabees. And this group was just like, I would say, an ancient Mossad. Anyway, they didn't want to, they fought for their right to exist. We see that miracles can happen when people stand up with courage. And this is what should happen in the Western societies, in America, Europe. These countries are Judeo-Christian, or I would say countries founded on Christianity, run by Christian law. We have to accept that. Every country has their laws or way of life. And in Europe, it is a Christian way of life. You don't have to live as a Christian, but you have to respect their laws and their ways. I think you guys need to stand up and take courage in your countries, just like the Jewish people in Israel, or the Arab people or Muslim people in their countries. America, Australia, all the rest of you guys, it's a mixed cultural countries, but the basics of these countries are based on the Christian belief. So if you don't believe in God, it's not like you say, okay, but I have to live like a Christian. No, it's just that they have the basics on how you should treat one another with respect and honor. It's pretty simple. Both of these holidays fall in the darkest, coldest time of the year. Not by accident. They are a powerful reminder when things seem bleakest. That's exactly when we need to shine brighter. So these are very, very dark times. For me, the last 2 decades, Corona and the spread of the LGBTQ and man, woman, or monkey, those were very, very dark times. And we're still in the darkness, but there's a little light shining, and more people are becoming more courageous and informed. So like I said, with candles, with kindness, with unity and love, this is what helps us to shine brighter. Now, the world feels like it's shifting under our feet. In a few weeks, 2 weeks, We'll close out the year, or Gregorian calendar year of 2025, and stepping into 2026. Many feel anxious about the future. AI, in German KI, health issues, financial, war, Third World War. Fear is real, but fear doesn't have to define you. There's still so much light in this world, but it just seems like the darkness and the evil and the negative is just in the majority. That's what the elite and news stations, the bad elite, and the dumb politicians want you to believe. But, like I say, there's so much light in this world. Still, stories of heroes emerge, even from tragedy, like the brave bystander in Sydney. And you know what this guy was? Who had the courage to stand up for Jewish people in a strange land like Australia? First, I'll give you his name. His name was Ahmed Al-Ahmed. He was a Muslim even, and he risked his life to tackle and disarm one of the gunmen. That is humanity at its best. It wasn't about color, it wasn't about religion, rich or poor. He stood up as a human, protecting God's creation. Life can go on, and it can go on better if we choose it. Remember, we have a blessing, free choice. We're not slaves, we're not robots, although some do act as such. Each of us has power in our words, in our actions, in our votes, in our prayers or meditations, or whatever you want to call it. Our daily choices. My friends, this holiday season, let's commit to being that light. Let's protect one another, especially our children. Let's choose hope over fear. And I want to say before closing out, places like Germany, Australia, France, and America, it's not about your religion or what you believe or don't believe in. It's about being human. All the leaders need to stand up against all of this marching, free Palestine, and death to the Jews, and death to the United States, and death to Christians. The government should step in and shut it down and declare it a criminal offense to make such hate speeches in public or whatever. Whatever you do behind closed doors, that's on you. But don't bring the filth in our society for our children to see, or people who are weak to become like you. So as we look ahead to 2026, I want to bring this message of hope and courage to as many people as possible. Starting in a new year, the 2026 Gregorian calendar, I will be available worldwide to share these powerful principles at your events or your conferences or gatherings, schools, as your motivational speaker. If you want to book a speaker like myself to inspire your school to choose light over darkness, please reach out to me, and the link in the description below here. Let's start the new calendar of 2026, the Gregorian calendar, shining bright with more light, positive light, together. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already subscribed. We want to make lives better. Hit that like button. God bless you, and happy holidays. Bye-bye.